Hey guys, Destler Magic here with a very overdue coverage of the Neon Dynasty Alchemy set spoilers, which I think went live yesterday on Arena, something like that. Now, so few people are interested in it, and it's such a ridiculous, wild card burning cash grab, that even the people who are interested probably can't afford to play it. That if you log in, you get 6 packs of Alchemy just because, and then if you type in the code PLAY-NEO Alchemy, so play N-E-O Alchemy fully spelled out, you will get 3 more packs. Honestly, worth opening just for the wildcards and if you want to play Historic Brawl. So with that said, let's jump right into the spoilers. First up, we got Painful Bond. It's a 2-cost uncommon for once. Oh my gosh, they threw a couple charity ones in. Instant speed spell, and you draw 2 cards, then cards in your hand with mana value 3 or greater perpetually gain. When you cast this spell, you lose 1 life. You know, some of these are incredibly interesting. I'm like, wow, that kind of would only work in digital, but it's neat enough that I'm interested. But then the other 75% alchemy, I'm like, no, that's just going to be a no for me. The good parts don't override the bad parts, not even close. But I got to respect the card design on some of these. Next up, we've got a multicolored, actually I think the only one in the entire set. And of course, it's a red-white human samurai, 3 cost 2/2 with double strike, hello. Boy, on the list of things we did not need added to the game. And whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, draft a card from Imperial Blademaster's spellbook. And it's a list of 12 cards. And they're all pretty ridiculous. So next up, a mythic, a 2/3/4 cost, double green Forceful Cultivator, Snake Shaman creature, and this spell costs 2 less to cast if there are no lands in your hand. I think we saw this one in the pre-spoiler spoilers, but I wanted to mention it again because it's really neat. And then when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So kinda neat, especially if you get it off for 2, but the conditions on that are interesting. Next up, Runaway Growth. It's a 4-cost green enchantment aura, starting Intensity 1. And no reminder text for that new keyword they made up, Intensity. But you kinda don't need it, I guess I'll just keep reading the card. Enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional amount of green mana to their mana pool equal to Runaway Growth's intensity, then perpetually increase its intensity by 1. So it's just a state holding variable. I mean, honestly, if they're going to act like they invented something, this is just charge counters. Or lower counters even, but it's usually charge counters. I've seen probably 5 other ones too. It's a variable tracker, ooh, wow. Still kind of neat, but my gosh, is this card OP? The problem is it comes in so dang late because it costs 4, but this gets out of control quick. Now this outlines a design philosophy that they actually openly admitted. This isn't even suspected, it's admitted. They want alchemy games to be faster, so they want this stuff that gets more and more and more and more powerful over time so that eventually somebody wins this stupid game instead of just staring at each other with a line of 30 creatures each. And nobody can swing, and nobody is running a board wipe, and a point removal isn't going to help. So this isn't game ending. It's not it does 1 damage to their life total, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. I mean, you gotta still spend the mana on something. But still, it's kind of neat, and I don't completely disagree with the game going that direction. But to basically call this fixed standard, no, not at this power level it's not. It really is its own thing. So what they promised us was fixed, rebalanced, quicker, adapted / banned / adjusted cards, whatever, standard. But what they gave us was high-powered dumb Hearthstone. And if it wasn't a greedy cash grab right now, I'd be okay, completely advertised incorrectly. And I think everybody just wanted Pioneer, but that said, okay, take it or leave it, it is what it is. Now, it is just such a greedy cash grab, I can't in any way condone anything about this. So moving on to the next one, we've got Jukai Liberator. It's a 3-cost 3/3 Snake Ninja with Ninjutsu 2, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, choose land or non-land, seek a permanent card, which is just basically tutoring, but I think random, of the chosen kind from your library. So yeah, they're all excited about this would only work in digital, but this isn't the most exciting thing I've ever seen, and it's just another rare wild card burned. Remember, you might need 4 of these, and the going rate for just buying wild cards, which don't even get me started, is I believe 8 rare wild cards, or was it 12? I don't remember. You know what? Who cares? For $50, and then you get some mythics in there too. Who honestly gives a crap? If you took all the rares in a set in paper and averaged their price together, I guarantee we ain't at the price per rare wild card that Alchemy is charging. Well, not even alchemy. Alchemy is just really rare heavy. The arena. Anyway, next up, Chronicle of Worship. It's a 2-cost green 1/1 creature monkin. When it enters the battlefield, put a random shrine card from among the top 7 cards of your library into your hand. Hold on, I gotta go launch Arena and add this to my Brawl deck. Which means, yeah, it's singleton, but one more rare wild card burned. When it starts affecting things that I actually play and I can't continue to ignore it, that really pisses me off. So anyway, that shrine card perpetually gains. This spell costs 1 less to cast. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Then shuffle, and then it also is a mana dork for 2. Power creep to the moon. Next up, Saiju Pathlighter. It's a 3/2 for 3 human rogue, rare, of course. I should just stop saying it. That's the default. I think I'll just point it out when it's not. When this card enters the battlefield, draft a card from its spell book. And once again, I don't think I saw a list shorter than 10. I'm not going to read them all, but all 3 of them looked pretty egregious. Next up, Forgeborn Phoenix. It's a mythic, okay. Equipment Phoenix artifact creature, 3-cost double red 2/2 with flying. An equipped creature is flying. It has reconfigure 1, but it's red. That's interesting, which is, of course, if you don't remember reconfigure, equip, dequip, basically. And then whenever Forgeborn Phoenix or equipped creature dies, it perpetually gains. When an equipped creature you control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So another obnoxious, recurring, death-defying Phoenix. Phoenixes have been a problem for at least the last 5 or 6 years. At least. I can remember quite a couple. This one sounds pretty annoying too. Next up, Molten Impact. It's a 2-cost red sorcery that deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If excess damage was dealt this way, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, Molten Impact deals damage equal to the excess to target creature or planeswalker. So you have to cast another spell, and it's like queued up with a delayed trigger until it does. That's actually kind of neat, It's like, how exciting can you get with red spells that do damage after this many years, but then with the flexibility of alchemy and this ridiculous delayed floating trigger, they can do it. And that's the upside of this, but like I said, the upsides do not counteract the downsides. Next up, Bellows Breath Ogre. It's a 3-cost red, 3/3 Ogre Shaman artifact creature, starting intensity 1. Here we go again. And when Bellows Breath Ogre attacks, it deals damage equal to its intensity to any target, then perpetually increases intensity by 1. Now remember, perpetually survives the graveyard. They're thrown around because they're just absolutely tickled by it. Like, ooh, look what we invented. It's our new toy. Should this really have it, or should it go away when it dies? Pretty obvious to me. But should it go away just because somebody flickered it or something? I never did like that. So next up, Junkyard Scrapper. It's a 3-cost 3/3 Goblin Artificer, red of course, and whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, exile a random non-land artifact card with lesser mana value from your library. You may cast that card until the end of your next turn. So a tutor with a limited use and it doesn't go to hand so it can't be discarded, that's pretty nuts for 3 when this is already a 3/3 for 3 goblin. But it's non-token artifact, but do treasure decks in any format really need an upgrade? Hell no. I played against one in ranked that almost just made me quit on the spot. That thing, they gotta ban that. And if you haven't seen Green-White Enchantments, is a nightmare too, so yeah. I guess Wizards thought this needed an upgrade, the current meta. Anyway, next up we got Foundry Beetle. It's a 2-cost 2/2 artifact creature, equipment insect, first strike. An equipped creature has first strike. At the beginning of your upkeep, a random artifact card in your hand perpetually gains. This spell costs 1 less to cast, and then reconfigure 1 red. Another pretty neat card. It's a lot of things and it's a lot of reading, and I don't need to tell you what I think about that trend. I think almost everybody, at least that I've heard online, is on the same page there. But this is kind of neat. Next up, Artillery Enthusiast. It's a 1-cost 1/1 Goblin Artificer. Oh my gosh, finally an uncommon. And modified creatures you control have menace. That's insane. And when Artillery Enthusiast enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, seek a card with mana value equal to that card's mana value. Okay, another overpowered 1-drop from hell. Next up, Consuming Oni. That's right, we're going to a different color. So it's a black, in fact double black, 4-cost 6/6 Ogre Demon with flying and menace. What was I saying about power creep again? Oh yeah, I remember something about that. So at the beginning of your end step, a random non-land card in your hand perpetually gains. When you cast this spell, you lose 3 life. Who gives a crap? Still overpowered for 4, still a disgrace to the game. Oh, and it's mythic, by the way. Next up, Soul Servitude. We're back to the rares. It's a black, 3-cost instant. And it says, target player sacrifices a non-token creature. When they do, you may discard a card. If you do, conjure a duplicate of the sacrificed creature in your hand, so you clone it, but it becomes a card in your hand. And it perpetually gains, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast a spell. So it's still their choice, it's not like it's their biggest creature, and this is kinda neat, but I hate alchemy. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? It's awful. Next up, Undercity Plunder, it's a 2-cost black sorcery, and target opponent discards a card because we needed another one of those effects in the game apparently. Then they may discard an additional card if they don't conjure a duplicate of a random card from their library into your hand. Like, even lands, really. It perpetually gains. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast a spell. Overpowered, stealing, unreliable, luck-based crap. That's what they're turning alchemy into. Because if you let people win based on luck instead of skill and deck building and decision making, then even the worst player can win some of the time, which is also what they're going for. They're dumbing it down, okay? Alchemy is basically like Arena for kids, but for like really stupid kids. Really stupid kids with a lot of money, apparently. Next up, Swarm Saboteur. Yes, that is the correct pronunciation. So it's a 2-cost human ninja 2/1, ninjutsu 2, and death touch, and when it deals combat damage to a player, conjure a card named Virus Beetle into your hand. Very annoying card, by the way. And believe it or not, that is it. There's only 30 of these. The rest are covered in my former video from like a week ago. But just this second set, it's just almost all bad. It's a couple of neat, interesting things that it's like take it or leave it, but okay, interesting new design thing. And the rest is just, well, didn't need that, don't want to play against this. Oh, got another control card. Oh, look, another overpowered card under 4 mana. Oh, look, a 6/6 flyer for 4. I mean, just none of this. Nobody wants any of this in the game, but if you ramp up the power level that quickly, the game gets over quicker. And like, I guess the number one complaint from people who aren't used to Magic, aren't used to paper, aren't very mature. I mean, I could profile them a little harder, but you get it. Oh, and dumb, obnoxious Zoomer ADD kids, I guess they collectively said in some kind of marketing research, or the dumb boomers that work at Wizards just assumed this. They want shorter games. They don't want games that go on for like 40 minutes, which, I mean, neither do I, but like 90% of the problem is people being slow playing dicks. Oh, thanks Wizards for now forcing us to play in combined lobbies and matches and matchups with mobile players because they're known for their speed. But yeah, 90% of it was the players playing slower, and the slowest people I've seen that aren't like brain dead or trolling me on purpose, they probably could have finished the game, totally on them, 3 times faster. So in the time it took to play against one slow-playing dick, I could have played 3 games. That's the problem. That is 90% of the problem. The other 10% is the power level, but nobody wants a power level that high according to every survey I've ever seen, or any comment from anyone online. So their fix for that 10% is to make the power level even higher, and then make the game more expensive so that, impatient idiots can win based on luck in 7 minutes. On the list of things nobody asked for, Wizards apparently just crossed off the title and wrote things to implement into Arena. So yeah, alchemy is trash. Keep boycotting it. Maybe it'll go away. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.